Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of the Pixel Crashers podcast, a podcast where we discuss our thoughts on gaming news. I am Angelus de Mortiel, together with Kev the Gamer, who I've
2 days to Fallout.
I muted because I don't want to hear what he says, MajorStupidity,
No!
Hey guys.
and DeathShroud09.
What's up?
And today we are joined by Adam West 222, aka Caleb, who doesn't enjoy the movie theater cream corn because it's too crunchy.
Oh.
All I know is I'm still thinking, no, he muted me.
Sorry, was there someone talking I couldn't hear?
Nor could I.
No!
Oh man.
Yes.
I see a Reddit thread. PSA: Don't play Fallout 4, the main quest line, because it contains major spoilers.
Don't play the quest line because it contains
Oh,
spoilers.
Yeah, don't
my
play
game
Fallout
was
4
back.
main quest. They contain major spoilers.
Wait, what?
Because there was threads earlier where someone was like, "Don't go on to any major social media site. It's like they're spoiling it." And one guy was like, "Man, everyone's been spoiling it. The mailman told me the ending to Fallout 4. The woman working at the supermarket gave me spoilers."
I'm telling you, I went to a preschool and, there's kids in diapers telling me about Fallout 4.
Yeah. I've never heard of that game before. I'm not sure what it's about.
I'm going to smack you upside the head.
It's Fallout season. We have 24 hours.
So in any
almost
case,
for a week.
I'd like to welcome everybody to our Post-N7 Day podcast, where we're only going to partially talk about Mass Effect stuff, instead of apparently everybody stuck on Fallout 4.
Fallout season.
I was just
Fallout
laughing
just
at
love.
it.
Fallout is life.
Yeah,
Get used
so-
to it.
We'll get to more Fallout stuff in a minute. But first, how about some games we've been playing this week? We'll go ahead and start with Caleb,
Oh.
our resident console peasant here, who's on Xbox One. Everybody search up Adam West 222 and go ahead and add him to your friends list so he gets spammed and his account breaks. What have you been playing this week?
This week, I have actually been picking up Warframe, actually. Watching some of your videos, I figured, may as well. I've seen you play for the past, year and a half or so. And now that I have an Xbox One, I figured, may as well. It's free to play. It's worth a shot. I'm enjoying it so far.
See, I'm not familiar with this Warframe. I've only been playing a game called War Farm lately. Maybe
That's
there's
Mind
similar?
Frame.
Or Farm. Yep, that about sums it up. But then also, of course, you were playing GTA 5.
Oh,
and-
of course. That's just a waste of time until Fallout 4 comes out.
Yep, pretty much.
I still don't know what this Fallout game is.
Well, if you want to know what it is, go up on Pornhub and search up Fallout 4. That's how they advertised it for a while. There's about 5 different episodes.
I remember.
It'll give you the biggest direction ever, I swear.
I'm going to tell you about video games.
Go to a porn website.
It's about video games.
Yep, that's totally what people go to Pornhub for, is for video games.
Is there
I
any
see.
other reason?
Did they really upload the leaks to Pornhub?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if they
No,
took them down
All
yet.
the
I don't
games
think
are
they
on
did.
Pornhub.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It's
They're
worth
about
it.
5 minutes each, and there's 4 or 5 of them.
I remember there was one post, I think, was it on Reddit or something, where it was showing like a Pornhub video, and then in the comments section, it was showing like people giving like tutorials on fixing something or something like that. Like someone's talking about how to fix a console that overheated, and it was actually legitimate advice.
I find Pornhub to be one of the most hilarious companies / communities that I don't really frequent, but I've read things about.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, they put up a giant billboard in New York, and they got it taken down. Advertising
yeah,
Pornhub.
I mean, I just don't believe the whole he doesn't go there.
Yeah, I also believe that you all went there just to watch Fallout videos.
That's the only reason to go.
Yeah,
Well, you know,
I buy
you know
that.
they've
I need to get my
sponsored,
fix,
like,
man.
They've sponsored a Dota team and like they've done a bunch of crazy stuff.
Aren't they
Yeah,
trying to
I
film
mean,
the fourth?
that's the good PR thing they do.
See, you know what? I heard something on, I think it was Reddit, where they were saying they were the ones trying to film the first porn video in space. I'm not even joking.
I heard
There's an
that.
article on that.
SpaceX, man.
Yeah, how are you supposed to do that?
They're actually.
Netflix is
I
all
heard
over
that
the
they
place
gave
in
money to
space.
SpaceX too.
Like, you can't hold an erection in space. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's physically impossible.
Welcome to Pixel Crashers Podcast, where we occasionally talk about Pornhub.
It's my fault. I'll take all of that.
So Travis, what have you been playing this week?
Oh no, you put me on the spot.
No, he doesn't.
Nothing.
Yeah, he's got to do the Krendor thing.
I've actually been playing through, starting to play through Dragon Age for the first time.
Which one, Origins or Inquisition?
Yeah,
Oh,
Origins,
nice.
the ultimate deluxe quadruple 420 Elite Edition.
That gets you all of the goodies. That gets you the Golem companion. Yeah, Origins is definitely. I agree. Even though I've done a lot of content on Inquisition, I still hold Origins as being a fan favorite. I think even you played it.
I
played
think
the first
Inquisition's
one.
still a good number two.
Did you play it on console or?
Oh, console.
Yeah.
I
played
accidentally stole it from a friend.
That's the beauty of consoles. You can acquire games
I
from your
remember
friends.
first playing Dragon Age Origins on Xbox, and it works fine on Xbox, but it feels so much better on PC.
Hey,
UI and everything.
So
Certain games just feel better on PC.
So-
I think
I think
BioWare
it's
games are
because
like that, but
Dragon Age
games are
Origins
like
was
that.
much more like a classic RPG kind of. Like it had you could do the isometric view and everything, and it had all the little hot buttons. And
it was turn based.
the UI was very much kind of.
I also want to throw it out there, Travis. Spoiler alert: that one guy dies.
No, not Duncan.
Plus mods.
No,
Mods are great
you know what
Dragon Age
prompted me to start playing it actually is being spoiled, like the Inquisition, some of the Inquisition stuff being spoiled by a coworker of mine. But then it kind of like led into I've like read about and I played a little bit of Origins, a little bit of 2. So I kind of know somewhat about Dragon Age already. I just never actually got up and played through them.
Mm-hmm.
Due to lack of time or getting distracted by other games.
Yeah, I felt.
And-
yeah.
And we had a long conversation on he has a profound hatred of the circle, and I tried to explain to him why there's somewhat of a viewpoint as to maybe you shouldn't like support the circle, but there's some validity to their issues with
Circle's racist. It's racist against mages. Let's be real about it. They're segregating mages.
I find
Because
personally,
they feel like they're all going to be a threat.
I sympathized up until you played your Dragon Age 2, and like every other mage you meet, like the moment you put any pressure on them, it's like, hey, did you litter over there? Blood magic, raw. Every single one of them.
Exactly.
It's like
they lock them in
motherfuckers
cages
want me
like
to
they're
understand
animals or
you.
prisoners just for being born a certain way.
it's like y'all motherfuckers want me to understand you, but you all resort to blood magic the moment someone gives you like a nasty glare.
Well, like Origins, I don't know. Like Origins to me, there is a lot more meat to it. I felt. Whereas in that, like Inquisition had its share of stuff to do, but
Right.
Hey,
But
first of all, I like my dual sword warrior. Okay, thanks BioWare. Oh, rogues it's too similar to the rogue.
Like that's the one thing I liked about Origins, that I was a little sad when it came to like Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition. It was just like, why so many restrictions?
Yeah.
I mean, I think one other thing to talk about with Origins too is that's BioWare storytelling at its peak.
Yeah.
Like, I think Origins is probably the best storytelling that BioWare done. Everybody knows I would consider myself a fanboy of BioWare and specifically Mass
I will
Effect.
say,
I think the storytelling in Origins is the best they've ever done.
I still think the Darkspawn ends up being a little cliche.
Yeah,
But
when you go into
Logan.
Awakening.
But it's,
Yeah, when you go into Awakening, it's like,
Yeah,
whoa, you killed everything I
not
thought I knew.
Awakening. Like not counting
Awakening was weird.
yeah. But
But
the
I
thing,
think Logan. Logan was amazing.
well,
I
the
love
thing
Logan.
is that one of the things about it is it's a very classical reimagining of the kind of stereotypical fantasy story. Ultimate evil threatens to overwhelm the earth, blah blah blah. That's like every fantasy story ever.
I like how
That's Mass Effect.
I loved how it
Yeah.
was like the last BioWare game that did the whole, oh, you got to go do these 4 quests, they basically, after doing like a tutorial thing, they open up and go, hey, there's these 4 different main things you got to do, and then you go to the finale. Like they did it in KOTOR. KOTOR 2 did it.
Mass
Jade
Effect
Empire
1.
did it. Yeah, wait, did Mass Effect 1 do it? Yeah,
Yeah,
Mass
yes,
Effect
it
1
did.
did it.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these games follow that same formula, and then Mass Effect 2 was like the first one that was like, nah, we're just,
Now, you could do the loyalty missions in Mass Effect 2 in any order, but the main missions were very
but
more linear.
I'm happy they broke
Mhm.
from the pattern of long intro, 4 places you got to visit in any order, and then kind of conclusion.
Yeah, but at the same time, that was for its time, that was a great
was. It's
formula, and it
I
served
noticed
them
that's
well.
like
I think
4 or
still
5
like it even worked with Mass Effect 3, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Like,
Mass Effect 3
that-
had it, like, now there was a few things that were you wanted to do in a certain order, but they didn't force you to,
Right.
But let's go ahead and move on there. What have you been playing this week, Joe?
Well, Warframe tiny bit, and then mainly Metal Gear Solid 5. I've been
Kidnapping Simulator 2015?
I've been too busy reading.
It's not Big Boss, it's
Black
Venom Snake? Is that the one? Venom
Yeah,
Snake?
it's Venom Snake.
Yeah, or what's his
Boss.
other name? It's like Depreciated Snake or something
Punished Venom Snake.
like Punished Venom.
Punish
I love
Venom.
I've been
The names. Kojima. Come on now.
I've been
And
busy
the
reading.
body paint for
know,
Quiet.
I haven't played Metal Gear Solid 5, but like I appreciate his work. That
I
he's
can
done
go
just from, like
and do a side op that requires me to take out a tank unit where they literally have 2, main battle tanks. And instead of taking them out, I can charge them, attach a hot air balloon to them, and send them off into the air and kidnap them.
Because
and it counts
physics.
as eliminating them while they're in there. Like the crew will be in there with the machine gun and everything, and I just charge them. Like
Yeah.
they're shooting at me, and I just run them down and stick a balloon on them,
Yep.
and they float away.
Like I said, put a
They
balloon
can't
on them and
retaliate.
go away because Kojima
Like-
says physics lols.
They don't pop out and shoot the balloon. They just kind of sit there and get taken off. And then when they get to the base, they join your side.
Like, oh, okay, we've been kidnapped. No big deal. Brainwashing. So
It works.
Kev, I understand that you have not played Fallout 4 because it's not out yet. How does that make you feel?
Peasantry. It makes me feel bad. And then I saw the clips for the PS4 version. And it made me glad I was getting it on PC.
Oh gosh, because we know that that's total. Anyway, what games have you been playing this week?
Well, I was playing GTA 5 like 20 minutes ago. I was playing,
And it wasn't working
Fallout.
right? What's that PC peasantry?
It crashed on me because I was messing with the command code or whatever.
Oh, because
That was on me.
that
so,
sounds
yeah,
like most of it while your stuff crashes.
Well, that's not why OBS crashed.
Uh-huh.
That's a whole different story.
Uh-huh.
After you sold me on OBS.
Yeah.
I
That's
was-
okay.
I don't-
Apparently,
I don't-
Skype doesn't love me when I hang up a call. It continues recording, and
Oh yeah, well I was streaming Mass Effect for N7 Day.
yeah, that was
And found a
great.
bunch of your Inquisition build video.
Yep, just
Yeah,
kept
so,
on going.
so-
I was like, well, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what Fallout, Mass Effect. We played Dirty Bomb earlier, GTA 5. Well, I played a little bit of Resident Evil 5. I've just been all over the place. I tried Killzone Shadowfall. I played that on my PS4. Didn't really like it very much. Other than that, I've been playing with my SSD. I got an SSD this week, so I've been playing with that.
Congratulations and welcome to the modern age.
Hey, I still like my mass storage, okay?
Uh
Uh-huh.
huh.
I can
Morty,
just hear
what have
the sound of
you been playing? That's the real question. 'Cause Morty hasn't been gaming this week. He hasn't been gaming this week. In fact, he's using footage for the live stream for my Let's Play.
Well, for at least part of it, because I didn't have it. I don't own Mass Effect on the PC, so I couldn't get any footage. So yes, I stole footage from your YouTube channel of your Let's Play, and yeah, I'm broadcasting on the channel because reasons.
You should sue copyrights.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm so ready to copyright strike this right now.
Copyright strike another game that you don't own. That seems legit. It sounds like
Well,
about
let's
you,
play.
par for YouTube, though, doesn't it?
No, you can do it for your Let's Plays actually.
Now the thing is I actually did get some gaming in today and Dirty Bomb and I was playing some Warframe and Warfarm, excuse me, and I finally got Hawken fixed, so it's not constantly walking sideways on me. Thank you for telling me to unplug my controller because apparently the guys who developed that game can't figure out how to deal with multiple inputs. Anyway.
That controller though?
Huh? Hey, I still have a controller. I play with the controller for Inquisition because the mouse and keyboard controls suck. Thanks, BioWare.
We love you, BioWare.
Not for
Suck
that.
Happy N7 Day.
It's not hard. It's hard being the teacher's pet, isn't it, Kev?
Yes. First Gaben, now BioWare. They hate everything that I love. And Fallout. Can't forget Fallout. Every time I love something, Morty hates it.
Yeah, because I hate Fallout.
That's because he's a facetious person.
Yeah.
I know.
That's the most of it. So let's go ahead and get on to our first news, segueing Fallout into, well, Fallout. So apparently, Fallout owners will get bonus items in other games, such as Rocket League, Forza 6, and as Travis told me, I guess also Dota 2. So my question is, do you think that this is good for makers to kind of do cross-game promotion like that, or
No.
does that include bad? Thanks, Joe. Does this encourage bad business?
It
All
brings
last
immersion in the
month.
game.
All right.
It's
I
different. Like Rocket League, it kind of works. It's like, oh yeah, you get a Fallout car, but I don't want Fallout stuff in
It's
Dota.
Forza 6, you get the whole
No, it
car.
works for Dota. There's Stanley Parable stuff in Dota. There's Red Commander stuff in
Yeah,
Dota.
and I think it's weird there too.
It's because it's an announcer. It's an announcer pack.
Oh, it's not
It's
an
an
actual character. I thought it was a character.
No,
Where
it's
else
an
do you know there's a
optional.
character?
No, it's an optional Mr. Handy announcer pack.
Mr. Handy.
That's hilarious. See, I would like GLaDOS as an announcer for for Dota. That would be great.
She
I
is.
would like 3 dogs.
Yeah, that's
Give me my
nice.
3
That's
dog.
not bad.
I mean, is there a Snoop Dogg announcer
Dog.
pack yet?
Morty?
Call of Duty got Snoop Dogg.
What's that?
Will Dota get Snoop Dogg?
Well, they had Ice Cube as well.
What, Travis?
First, GLaDOS is an announcer
Yes.
in Dota, and Snoop Dogg has already said that he's up for doing a Dota 2 announcer pack. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but
Well,
Valve's just
how
like,
many
fuck
announcer
that.
packs has Gaben made? Because if they're the third one, it's not happening. If this is the third, it's never coming.
no,
Yeah,
they have a ton.
they'll skip to 5.
Exactly, because Gaben doesn't count the three.
No, there's a Bastion one that has the Bastion guy.
One.
I already listed more than 3 dog. Just like
No.
See what I did there?
3 dog from Fallout.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
we'll get 3 dog into Dota. I like it.
Ow, wow, wow.
Now, what I would like to say is that the only definitive edition of Fallout you need to buy is the sock edition.
Yes, I want the socks.
I would have
ordered from
totally
Best Buy
gotten the
just to get
Pip-Boy.
the socks.
I'm just saying that Pip-Boy, though.
They sold
The
out
Pip-Boy
so
is
fast.
amazing.
Yeah, they did.
I will bring up with this. It's my biggest problem with it is still just the idea of I don't like having in-game bonuses as part of pre-order.
Yeah,
But I like physical stuff. Like I like the idea of having
Swag.
like clothing, or I like the idea of a Pip-Boy. I love having that, like physical merchandise included with the pre-order. Totally okay with that.
Well, the thing is
But-
that the swag always comes with the highest level edition. Like,
Yeah.
Skyrim's wasn't Legendary
I
Edition
just-
or whatever, coming with the Dragon
Like I'm fine with
statue.
that. I just don't like in-game content being put
Well,
together with.
you also have to think about, I think, the guys that aren't willing to spend $120. How do you get them to pre-order?
I don't know, but I
Why
don't
do they
like
need
the
to
idea of
pre-order?
using it as a crutch?
I-
No, yeah, I'm saying it from a
It's-
business standpoint.
the
They
way I
want them to
look at it,
pre-order
though-
too. Like, how does a business get them to do it?
The way I look at it is it's like they make content which could have been part of the game, and instead of having it in the game or even doing other stuff with it, they go, all right, we're going to take this content we made and we're going to hold it ransom, and we're basically going to say, hey, do you want the complete package? You need to pre-order, otherwise you're going to miss out on this stuff. Like even if
Advanced
it's
Warfare
irrelevant.
did that, and that pissed me off.
Yeah,
there's-
even
but
if it's irrelevant, like even if it's an item that is totally worthless, it's like, okay, so you spent dev time making a worthless item that no one's going to give a shit about, so that you could hold it for ransom to try and strong arm people into pre-ordering. Like, how does that make sense? Like,
Well,
nope.
my
Well, it
thing
doesn't make sense.
is
That's
that
the whole
like
thing.
something else that bugs me about pre-orders is I hate inconsequential pre-order items if you're gonna do that. Like, for example, Inquisition. You know, I got the digital deluxe edition, and I got like what I get, like some armor that was worthless, like after
and a throne,
like level 5 or something. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you got a throne, and and then also they got the special. They're not pre-order bonuses, but it was if you found certain stuff in these videos. Like, it was a promotional item that was like these staffs and these weapons that were also completely fucking useless. It's like, if
you know what they could do for pre-ordering? I was going to answer Kev when he was asking earlier, when he was saying well, how else are they going to get people to pre-order? One thing I thought of is they could give people like a very small discount when they pre-order, because they're taking all the risk of the game not being good and giving money down.
I would be down with
like
that.
what we were talking about.
If they were to
Best Buy
actually
Gamers deal.
Yeah, if they were to actually say, okay, hey, you're going to take the risk and you're going to buy our game without seeing it at all, and basically take the gamble that the game ends up not being good. All right, here you go. You're going to get a little discount, like $5 off, something like that at least. Do something like that instead of doing, hey, we're going to make inconsequential bullshit items that you won't give a fuck about like 5 minutes into the game, because they're going to become irrelevant by that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I like that, and that also gets the used owners out there that say, "Hey, I'm gonna buy it used just to make sure, and I'll save $5-10, but I'll get it like next weekend used or in 2 weeks used." I think that actually gets a lot of people that maybe care about that $5-10 off.
Yep.
That's a useful tactic.
Yeah, I just don't like in-game content as pre-order. Like, I like merchandising, I like a lot of that stuff. I just don't like having in-game weapons, levels, quests, characters, anything like that. Just unless it's a cosmetic. If it's
Fallout
cosmetic,
gets the thumbs up for the Fallout socks.
You know,
totally okay with that.
Major. Even from a purely cosmetic standpoint,
It's
a
still
lot. There's a large portion of gamers that happen to also be collectors.
Oh yeah, it's still strong arming people for content.
So
Like,
yeah,
it is. I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying if you had to do it, I'd be slightly less pissed off if it's a cosmetic. But yeah, I'm more for discounts and swag, merchandise.
Speaking of physical merchandise, I just read that
Give me a shirt.
Apparently Fallout 4 has its own beer now.
Mm-hmm.
See,
yeah,
and they're
Nuka-Cola.
Target, wasn't it? Or
wait,
something?
they are releasing Nuka-Cola?
Yes.
They were making Nuka-Cola Quantum.
Yes.
Well, no, what it is it's the blue raspberry Jones soda, and they're just relabeling it.
So you know what?
I'll drink
Just
that.
include that with the pre-order. It's
like a case of Nuka-Cola. I'd be good with that.
Yeah.
I still give props to the guy that bought the Pip-Boy edition. I believe, I would hope they gave him the fucking Pip-Boy edition when he gave him like 5 gazillion bottle caps.
Oh yeah.
That was so awesome.
Like, they better give him the fucking Pip-Boy edition, because that was like $3,000 worth of bottle caps. Like, Game Theorist did a whole video on it, like saying that he overpaid like hell. It was like a lot more.
And even, I mean, who knows? Maybe he really drank that much soda, or drank that much beer or whatever. No, I mean, not at once. Like, maybe he collected them anyway. I don't know. But that's just cool as hell. It falls with the theme so much.
Yeah.
They should have gave him a Pip-Boy for that.
Yeah, I hope they did. I don't know. They said that they were giving him a version of the game. They never said if it was what version it was. But so as far as the facet of this story that I wanted to kind of focus on was not so much that pre-order bonuses, yes, are silly and whatnot, but the main part I'm thinking is the whole cross-game side of it, like, as opposed to standard, you pre-order the Fallout 4 and you get this extra jacket that's
I will say I
worthless.
dislike it even more than normal, because it's like going to the people who like those games and going, hey, there's now this exclusive content that we have for your game that you enjoy, that we're going to hide behind a paywall for a game you might not give a shit about.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, for those people who want to have the full experience, they're basically being told, hey, do you want to go pay for another game that you don't care about so that you can have the tiny piece of content in our game?
Yeah.
Payday 2 did it. Payday 2 did a bunch of cross stuff with Hotline Miami 2 and basically had an entire character that you could only get if you bought Hotline Miami 2.
I didn't care about it because John Wick fuck everything else.
Yeah, it was just I dislike it a great deal.
Fair enough. Well, I think we've expanded that up. Let's get moving on to something that's actually a little bit more cool story and actually shows progression in society rather than sore business models.
Go progression.
Yes. Columbia University in Columbia, Missouri will be the newest college to adopt esports to their athletics programs, including with scholarships. They're joining the likes of the University of Pikeville, Robert Morris University, not to mention the Collegiate Star League, and recognizing esports as a traditional sports program for colleges. Now, do you guys think this is just kind of publicity, money-fed cash grab type of thing, or is this actually a change in opinion of a lot of these college
The way
programs?
I see it is the colleges seeing another opportunity to make money. That's all they see here.
Well, even normal sports like football, they get a shit ton of money through
Yeah.
selling stuff. And
Yeah.
this,
I
mean, this is a contract with, let's say, EA for FIFA.
I really don't like this just because I look at stuff like I remember I was looking up some stuff about college basketball and how much bullshit goes on behind the scenes with the coaches being paid like ludicrous amounts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Students having like crazy requirements and like cost on them. And I just look at it and I'm like, oh, they're going to fucking do this with gaming, aren't they? Oh my fucking God.
Now, is it only like,
Ugh.
let's say, FIFA and NFL?
Most likely going to be something like League of Legends. That's where the big money is in esports. Because Riot actually...
In League.
Riot even actually gives out, like, I think they have a collegiate league that they actually give out, like, I think it's something like $100,000 in scholarships for winning that.
From what I understand, League actually generally loses money on their competitive scene for the most part. It's
Yeah, but
mostly
Dota-
for advertisement.
Dota doesn't, because Dota doesn't actually front.
You know, the other thing that
themselves.
scares me about this is the more we push this and the more money starts appearing in esports, we're seeing it more and more. Games, not all games need to be designed with esports in mind, but lately these multiplayer games coming out more and more are like, hey, I want to take a piece of that esports pie.
I'm all for a pro league Warframe league.
For for some games it's all right, but there's some games where it's like we really don't need an esports scene, or it's like it ends up being in opposition to the design dynamic, to the paradigm for like a more casual audience. Like, as much as I love Hearthstone, I look at Hearthstone and it's like Blizzard kind of wants to have their cake and eat it too. They want to have the game be simple enough that casuals can get in and play it and it's fine, but then they also want to do the whole esports thing. And a lot of the professional players, like, it's not all RNG, but Hearthstone, the reason it's a lot of people like watching it and it's really easy for casual people to get into is because a lot of the randomness of it and the RNG mechanics. But for a professional standpoint, when you have like $250,000 on the line, and whether you win or lose a lot of the time can come down to simply luck.
Okay,
or
I want to point out here, first of all, Hearthstone, that's carrying off of Magic tournaments, which have already been about random stuff. So
but I will say Magic is a lot less simple than, like, Hearthstone's basically a casual Magic the Gathering. It's
in a certain respect, there's a lot of complexity to it. It has similarities, but it's the reason why it's better for kind of the streaming online esports scene is because it's it's visually better looking on screen.
Yeah.
Do you have something to say, Caleb?
Yeah, I do. No, there is a greater picture to this. With normal sports like football and soccer and all of that, volleyball, you get a scholarship. So people who are more athletic can have a ride through college. Well, people who are not as athletic, this will give them a greater opportunity to still get said college scholarship. So it does open up a better window. Now, is the university taking advantage of it? Definitely.
Whatever happened to getting a scholarship, for good grades?
Those are harder and harder to come by now.
Extremely hard.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that it's...
Can we just bring up how ludicrously expensive college is in general in the U.S. right now?
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that because colleges are all about that money ticket,
yep,
they throw out 10 times as many scholarships for sports than they do for academics. And the thing is that probably about 80%, I want to say, of students that play collegiate sports never actually go pro. So they actually, get their degree in something else and go on to a professional career. But for academic students who actually get good grades in high school, don't always have that option unless they were varsity quarterback in their football team or whatever. So I agree with Caleb on that one. That it does, even though, yes, the colleges will want to turn it into a money grab, at the same time, there's still benefit to the students because they can still get in even though, I'm good at video
I feel like
games.
There's so much room for abuse, though, after just seeing like what happens behind the scenes with some of the college sports. Like, it just, I don't know, it's very kind of, have to wait and see.
So I guess we're putting this in the file for a reason why esports is a thing. We know me. I'm not. I don't like referring to them as esports.
Yeah, I don't like referring to them as sports. Like,
well, the thing is why Kev doesn't like referring to them as sports is because he's bad at them.
Well, I feel like you guys.
I don't have a problem with calling it competitive gaming. And I think that's just what it is. It's competitive gaming.
Yeah, it's
I
competition.
I barely consider golf a sport.
Like, realistically,
have like this obsession with labeling it as an esport because they're like, we need the legitimacy of sports. It's like, can we just have it be competitive without having to be a sport?
You guys,
I think we actually open up a lot of
If you remember me looking up the definition before, it can easily apply. So.
It can. I'm just saying
it can. I just
sports in general are a recreation. Gaming is also a recreation.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Travis, we can hear you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like you don't have as much of a personal stake in it. For somebody who actually enjoys esports, and when I went to the international back in August, and being there at the stadium with all these other fans, and going to other sports events as well, physical sports. I feel that the experience is quite equivalent.
I'm not saying that.
And that's why I feel that it could be, it can be considered a sport in and of its own, just because of the experience of, as a fan, it feels like something that's a sport.
Yeah,
right. It feels like a spectacle, but at the same time, so does a Metallica concert.
The thing, no, that's not the thing. Is that with a sport, kind of the idea behind a sport, it is something that there's a certain skill base, but it's also a recreation in and of itself, and it's not necessarily a performance. You're not doing it just for the art of it, whereas a concert is artists performing. It would be the same thing as if Van Gogh walked up on stage with a painting and said, "Look, everybody, I painted this." They're displaying their art. Whereas whenever you're playing a game, the game makers are displaying their art, but not really. It's all about the player and their ability to perform at that sport. And I think that's the main thing, is the reason why I consider esports as a sport is because it's a recreational pastime that is played at a competitive level, and it requires skill by the people playing it. That's the way I see it, is that it's the same as sport. It just requires different muscles.
Seeing the national following that Dota had, like there was like whole sections of Chinese people that came from China to watch their teams play, and just the amount of team spirit that all the different fans had was just amazing. It was something else.
I would say I could easily see esports quickly becoming like secondary to soccer as the world's largest sport. Like especially when you're talking like League of Legends or Dota. It's like
I could see that. I guess my whole thing is I'd hate to see like a 500-pound guy who sits around playing games over there and like you're a professional athlete.
Surprisingly, Kev,
yeah, they're skinny as shit.
Yeah,
no, I've seen them.
That's because they never eat performance enhancing drugs.
Even as a fat guy, that would be shocking to me.
But I think, but you know what? What's wrong with the fat guy? Getting his groove on and being a public spectacle because he's good at a game.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a public spectacle, but when we're saying he's a professional athlete,
I'm okay with that.
brain.
Why-
He
why-
works his brain and his.
I
Yeah,
don't know,
why can't he be?
maybe I'm
Motor
just being
skills.
old fashioned. It always just sounds weird.
I'm just
Sounds
saying, fat people need love too.
I'm a fat guy. Y'all forgetting how fat I am.
Yeah, you should get good at
Um,
games for once, Kev, and stop being such a casual,
You know-
and then you could be a professional athlete.
Going back to what Morty said about it becoming a huge national thing, in Key Arena, there
Go Seattle.
yeah, there was a bunch of there's a ton of Chinese flags being waved in the area where the group of Chinese fans sat. Evil geniuses handed out American flags that were combined with the EG logo, and everybody was chanting USA, and
Yeah, it's like going to the World Cup. Only it's like I said, there's so many similarities there. It's hard not to draw
it's
that.
basically what it felt like in the arena, and it was an experience, and it felt like a sports experience to me. Previously going to football and hockey games myself.
Sorry, I was watching the Dirty Bomb footage of me teabagging Kev.
Oh dear.
You were teabagging me. We were on the same team in this clip.
Yep, yes, I was.
But with how many viewers go on YouTube and watch Let's Play videos
or live streams,
definitely. There is definitely a cult following with that. So I could see this skyrocketing, definitely. And like I said, it gives people an opportunity to go through college with a scholarship. I'm pro for this. I like this idea.
Yeah,
that's actually a funny thing. Imagine if you could watch your favorite your favorite football or soccer players, like their practices or like their day-to-day lives.
yeah, that's all we need, because we do have pro football sports reality shows. That's what we need. We need esports reality shows. Just put cameras all through the house that Heroes of the Storm team lives in.
I'm pretty sure that's a thing in Korea.
See, I'm all
Probably.
This is why I'm I'm all for greater recognition for competitive gaming, but I hate it being attached to the baggage that's going on with competitive sports. Like there's so much.
You mean the Adderall abuse?
Shady. There's just so
Well,
much
I mean,
shady
baseball has its
performance enhancing
too.
drugs.
Speaking on that is
The fact
that-
the fact that sports teams owners will sit and demand that the city pays for their stadiums with taxpayer money. Let's not forget
that's
that
what
thing.
esports needs too. I demand that the
taxpayers better
city,
build our
the
city.
taxpayers pay for a gaming room, a community gaming room for an
and if you
esports
don't,
team.
we'll move
Okay,
to a
Colbert.
new city.
See, shit like
Yeah,
that.
we'll move
I don't
to
want
another
that
city.
shit in my gaming. I don't want that shit in professional gaming.
When it comes to performance enhancing drugs, I feel like we haven't even gotten on the tip of the iceberg with that. I feel like in the coming years that's going to be
I'm just
not just in
waiting for
gaming.
those
I feel like that's
sci-fi
going to be a
drugs.
massive thing in society in general. Is going to be
I'm waiting man.
I'm waiting for those crazy sci-fi drugs that I see in something like Shadowrun that allows me to slow down time and become basically God when I do them. I'm just waiting for that shit, man.
Or the drugs like in.
I seriously believe that it is pretty much inevitable that we are going to have reaction and extreme cognitive enhancing drugs in the very near future.
Minority Report.
We're gonna get
heroin.
we're gonna get real life red sand.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and get moving on since we're starting to tangent off of here. So our last story of the day here is all about Overwatch and the confusing move that Blizzard announced at BlizzCon this weekend. The Overwatch, is the shooter that's set to compete with the likes of Team Fortress made by Valve. And in their announcement that it's going to be launched for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, good. But it's going to cost $60, unlike the free-to-play Team Fortress.
Wait, what do you mean?
It's 40.
Oh, is it $40? Sorry, $40.
Yeah, I was about to say that
That's
sounds
not as
high.
daunting.
I think
You get some extras from the $60 version, but it's just skins.
Yeah, but my question is that a smart decision for Blizzard to try to compete with Team Fortress? I mean,
Quick,
Blizzard...
My question is, we're paying
feel
for it.
they're
Are they
trying-
still having microtransactions in the game?
Yeah, that's my
Not
question.
at first. At first, what they're going to do is basically they're going to have the base 20 something characters. I think it's 27 characters, and
See,
everybody gets them. But then when the new characters come out at a later point, they'll charge for those as DLC.
see, DLC I'm fine with. That's not microtransactions. That's my main question. It's like if they're going to charge for it, they better not try to pull microtransaction bullshit.
My understanding is that they won't, and that's what they're
Okay.
doing here
Then,
to
yeah.
keep limits.
I'm with it.
You
then.
know,
I actually I prefer this because there's nothing worse than coming into a new game and not having access to anything at all. The best characters are the ones you have to
You
buy.
mean like in Dirty
Yeah,
Bomb?
I gotta admit,
Mhm.
I am. There's so
Dirty
many
Bomb
free
is
to play
so pay
shooters
to
out
win.
there now.
It's not even
Yeah,
funny.
Dirty Bomb is really bad for
You
that.
know-
It was a fun game at first, but now all the new characters are so much better than the base characters.
Well, and the
I
weapons.
Not
personally,
even-
I
Yeah.
personally like this move by Blizzard. I feel like due to just how the game is, I think it's going to perform better in like an upfront paid, uh, system. I don't agree on them offering, planning on putting new characters as paid. I feel like they should have like skin. Like I think microtransactions are still possible even though it's paid.
As long as it's only cosmetics.
Yeah, they could have constant. I think what they should have done is they should have had it, be an upfront cost game, add in microtransaction skins, and then continue using that, that money you get from skins, continually develop characters and add them for everyone. Because adding in characters is just going to split the community and damage the game overall.
Yeah.
And that in the type of game that Overwatch is, you pretty much cannot have people that have access to characters that others do not.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Yeah, but I think they're still learning the formula too. It's like, how do we? Everybody's playing with the formula. How do you learn this and get this right?
Well, from
Without trying
seeing
new things.
from seeing the beta, there's a lot of like character counter things. Like there's certain characters that are much easier to deal with when you play their counter character.
Mhm.
And the thing is, if you go towards actually selling new characters, that completely, it happens in League of Legends, that completely turns your design decisions on its head, and from what I've noticed, seriously cuts down on the amount of complexity and uniqueness that you can put into your game, because you must balance the game around not everybody having access to these characters, which means they can't be too unique, they can't be too out there, because that would require them to have counter characters.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
I look at something like Smite. I think Smite actually got this kind of right, where the game is free to play. You have access to the base characters, and if you like it, $30 you get all the other characters, and we're done.
Yeah, and the thing is
Yeah.
I like that because that is a low barrier to entry. You still have the character rotation, like what League of Legends does. Not everybody can do what Dota does, where they have literally everything unlocked. Or I should say, all of the meat of the game unlocked to you up front, and only cosmetics are paid. Overwatch doesn't do that either. Overwatch, I believe, does a rotating... I'm trying to remember now. It's been a while since I played Team Fortress, but not Overwatch. Sorry. Team Fortress, I think, rotates characters as well.
Team Fortress 2?
I think.
Yeah.
I think you have all the characters from the get-go.
Do you? So then
Yeah,
they base it off of cosmetics as well. Then,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
assuming.
purely cosmetics in that game.
So that's another thing that's kind of hits against Overwatch, and that's my concern, is that you're competing against you're competing against Team Fortress 2, which has a huge following. You're trying to get your edge. Now, granted, Blizzard has kind of a dedicated following of fans that are really loyal to the point of fanboyism, that believe that Blizzard
So
can
does
do no
Valve.
wrong. But
So does Valve.
the thing is you're essentially cutting. You've already got Blizzard's, and I was noting this to Caleb earlier, that Blizzard's community, while they're very loyal to Blizzard, tends to be very segmented. Your Diablo fans are not usually World of Warcraft fans. Your StarCraft 2 fans are not usually your Hearthstone fans. They're usually their own segmented communities, and they usually are very dedicated to those titles. You introduce Overwatch, some people from those other Blizzard games may hop over to Overwatch, the problem is that the rest of the fans are going to come from games like Team Fortress 2. And the concern, of course, they're going to have is, well, but what if I buy this and I don't like the game? You know, when you get a free-to-play mindset, trying to justify paying any amount of money for a game up front is difficult. Because usually they're like, oh, it's free. Microtransactions, but the game is free. You know, they like don't notice that cost hidden in the background. Mm-hmm. So that's where it's tough to me.
I think where you were talking about getting new players in, I think I'm the kind of player for that. Team Fortress is so old that it's going to be a bigger learning curve for somebody like me because I've never really got into it.
Yep, that's true.
Then versus something like Overwatch, of course, it's brand new, so I'm on the same level playing field with everyone else.
That was the plan I had for Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
Never got into Heroes of the Storm, sadly. I had planned, like, you know, Dota 2 and League of Legends have been around for so long, and you know, it's hard to get into.
It's not too late for Heroes. It's not too late for Heroes, I don't think.
No.
It's so easy to play.
Dota 2's been hard to get into for like 10 years, and it still has a growing player base.
Yeah, and it's not even 10 years old. That's the worst part.
But my thing is that, you know, essentially you get into, like, what I noticed with League of Legends and Dota 2, you join in a match and say, hey, I'm a new player. And you know, so forgive me for making mistakes. And their response is, get the fuck out of the lobby. You noob. You piece of shit. We don't want to play with you because you're new. Whereas Overwatch, I noticed, like, and I actually chatted with a few Twitch streamers that were streaming Heroes of the Storm, and they're like, yeah, no, actually everybody's pretty chill. Don't know if that's changed. This was whenever Heroes was brand new. And I was like,
I tried Heroes like 2-3 months and it was still like ago, then it was still like that.
Yeah, like, people tend to be a lot more chill. It's got a lot lower barrier to entry than a lot of those do as far as skill level goes. But
it's a lot more casual too. I play League, Dota, and Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm is so much. It's easier for a casual player to get into, as opposed to, you know, Dota. I feel like Dota, you got to dedicate your life to that shit. Valve games in general, I feel like that's the only game you can play if you're gonna like play it competently.
No, I recently got one of my friends Heroes of the Storm. He said it was like best of all the worlds, because if you like certain players from like Diablo or from another Blizzard game, you can play as that character, which is absolutely amazing. You have a bit of nostalgia in there with a whole different playstyle, opening up a whole new possibility.
Yeah, that's kind of what they were aiming for with it.
And I think they did it very well, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I think they did well too.
Yeah. It's kind of like what Hearthstone kind of like tried to play on some of that, but the only memorable part of Hearthstone is Leroy Jenkins.
He's not even played anymore. What are you
talking about? Nobody uses him anymore. No,
they nerfed him. They made him like 5 mana for a 6/2.
No, the what was it? The rogue, the Miracle Rogue. Miracle Rogue. A long time ago. Yeah, they nerfed her.
The biggest thing is nerfing the Patron Warrior. Yeah. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that shit, but it was insane. One turn, nothing on the board, your opponent could drop his combo and hit you for like 50 damage.
Yep.
And just instantly destroy you.
That's one of the things I like about it. There's so many interesting combos and ways people find to play those, though.
The problem with Patron was that it punished you no matter what you did. Like, even if you had a full board, like if you had board control, which is something that should win. Like, when you have board control, it's like you should be winning. Your opponent could just drop his combo and instantly win, even if you were at full health.
Well, if
anything on the board, they could do it. Like,
I've run into that, though, playing against an Ice Mage.
Freeze Mage. Yeah, Freeze Mage is harder, though. Like, Freeze Mage is a lot harder to pull off. And if you have heals, you wreck Freeze Mage, because they have unless they get lucky with their combos, they have a very limited amount of burn spells they can use. So they have a very limited amount of damage they can do. That's why Control Warrior destroys them, because Control Warrior can basically overheal by having armor and get his health up to like 60, and then Freeze Mage can't do shit to him. They just lose.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and of course, talking about Blizzard, we end up on a discussion about Hearthstone. AKA Overwatch. Yeah,
of course, it's all about the secret.
So how can we bring Skyrim into this discussion?
in this way. hey Kev, how about that Fallout 4 that you don't have yet?
24 hours.
But you don't have it now.
Have you been playing New Vegas just in preparation?
No, he's
Fallout
a scrub
3.
who plays
Fallout
Fallout
3?
I prefer
Fair
Fallout
enough.
3.
I love the story mode of Fallout 3, but I can't get over the iron sights and the weapons on New Vegas. I
did not
love
like
it too
the
much.
story in Fallout 3.
Yeah, Joe's a big
I
New
like
Vegas fan.
New Vegas, but I don't know. I wasn't like super crazy about it like I was for 3.
Again,
The
like
biggest reason I'm hyped for 4.
I've kind of figured out New Vegas was more of I like it because I love world building. You know, I sit and I read my fantasy like trilogy novels, you know, and like I love world building. New Vegas had a ton of world building. You know, but
I like Dark Souls, and it had the world building. So when we played it,
Dark
the
Souls was a
main
little bit
reason why I ran through it was because The Witcher was coming out, and I wanted to get on The Witcher.
Mhm.
That was the only reason I ran through it so fast.
And of course, Morty's being a smartass with his now discussing banners.
Which we don't see it on the stream.
That's okay.
I was
They'll-
just that's
they'll-
all.
by
I
the-
need to
by
say
the time it
about
shows
We
up on
talked
the-
about it enough. That's all I need to say about it.
Well, that's okay because now we're going to get in talking about another passionate topic. Sure. Wait for it. Star Citizen! No, I'm kidding.
Keep
Oh,
on
we
line.
lost Kev.
Oh, he left. He got sick of it. But, so... Did we actually lose Kev?
Yeah, he's out of the call and dropped him.
Nice. Boot him.
There he is. He's back.
Kicked him out of the call. We timed him out.
Oh dear.
But anyway, so let's move on to our evergreen topic today, which is Happy N7 Day, everyone. Okay, well, yes, I know that was yesterday, but our podcast wasn't yesterday, so we're talking about it today. So we're working with what we have here. So essentially, we're going to go around the room, and in spirit of N7 Day, since they released no news about Andromeda except for Ryder, we're going to talk about our most beloved parts of Mass Effect and how we think that BioWare is going to carry on those to our new protagonist, Ryder. And we're going to go ahead and start with Kev if he's there. If he's not, we'll move to Joe. Not sure if he's still there.
Oh, he's out of the call still.
He's out of the call. So we'll move on to you, Joe. What's your most beloved parts of Mass Effect, and how do you think or how do you hope they'll carry them on to Andromeda?
My favorite thing about Mass Effect is probably combination. I like the world building, and I like character interactions. Now, obviously, with world building, we're going to entirely another galaxy. Another galaxy. So they're really going to have to step up their game. I have faith it'll be interesting how they develop this, new galaxy.
It'll just be Reapers again.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna get to Andromeda, and it's just gonna be like we have super Reapers. They're like mutated Reapers that
No,
cosmic radiation.
No, it's gonna be the Reaper predecessors that they talked about.
You know what? If they do that, I'm just gonna be done. I'm just gonna be like, nope, we're done. I'm gonna be like, bye, BioWare, goodbye.
Oh man.
Yes.
Screenshot this.
Okay, I'll imagine Kev back.
Prediction on Pixel Crashers on November 8th, 2015.
Yeah.
And I'm back.
There he is.
Hey.
So there.
I don't know, Skype crashed.
But yeah, I'm very also the character interactions, which
So by the way, Kat said, "What's up?"
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's in the chat right now.
Nice.
But yeah, in any case, yes. So the character interaction. Kev, why don't you discuss your most beloved parts of Mass Effect and how you hope that BioWare will carry them on to Andromeda?
Are they gonna bring Miranda back? That ass.
That's his most beloved part of Mass
ass.
Effect was all the camera angles from Mass Effect 2 staring at Miranda's ass.
Oh, come on, Ashley, all the way.
There's just
Yeah, but they didn't sexually exploit her quite as
Girls
much.
are the best. Blue girls are the
I love
best.
the character development in the games, especially in Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
I think how everybody had so much animosity, nobody trusted each other, and they turned out to be a decent team.
Yep.
Especially
Especially that speech at the end.
Oh yeah.
like
Don't
Mass
forget,
Effect
hold the line.
the
Best
character.
Yes.
speech in gaming ever. Hold the line.
Hold the line. Captain Kirahe.
I know. Major.
That's something they've really done well with Mass Effect series is just the character interactions.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Just so good.
Oh yeah, and I feel like the one thing I love about the Mass Effect series is I feel like with the character interactions, they just improved every game. Say what you want to about the ending for Mass Effect 3. I'm honestly tired of talking about it. It's 4 years old. It is what it is.
Yeah.
The game is amazing and a classic if you can take out the last 10 minutes.
I had other issues with it.
Well, and without spoilers,
I feel like
though,
it was a little rushed.
Without spoilers, though, and we'll kind of move on from here. Well, actually, I'll save that for my segment. Let's move on to Travis. And what was the parts you loved most about Mass Effect, and how would you carry them on? Did Travis drop out of the call? Is Travis still there? Okay, well, I guess.
A line of cocaine.
Yep. Well, I guess we're moving on to you then. So, Caleb, what was the things you liked most about Mass Effect since Skype is having issues tonight?
Well, we touched based on a lot of the single-player play on why we like it, and I agree completely. Something that I'm a little worried about is definitely the online aspect, because looking at Inquisition, yeah, it was fun, but personally was not my favorite for online that they did. So I liked how they did the online for Mass Effect 3. I had a lot of friends, a lot of fun, and met quite a bit of friends, like Kev. Met him through Mass Effect Online. But I loved the character interaction. You felt for the other characters, especially...
I don't think it's going to happen, but I feel like that would be something that I would enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we finally got you guys back, Skype technical issues, I didn't hear any of what you guys were talking about.
You guys...
So next week we use TeamSpeak. Next week we use TeamSpeak.
Yeah, nice thing about PC, at least we had options.
Rehearsing for our basically takeover, you know.
Yeah. So Caleb here was talking about the multiplayer thing and his concerns based on Inquisitions. So why don't you continue on that, and then we'll get to you, Travis.
I mean, the basic outline of Inquisition's multiplayer, I wasn't too fond of it. We touched base on the single-player aspect. I just want to touch base on the multiplayer aspect a bit, because that's something that's going to further the gameplay, like how Mass Effect 3 did it. I loved how they had the planet readiness on Mass Effect 3, so playing online added an advantage to your actual single player. That's a brilliant idea. I loved that, and I hope they actually carry that over.
Yeah. And you, Travis?
So, I have kind of a unique perspective on this in that the only Mass Effect I've ever played is Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. So, basically, my entire investment into the Mass Effect series is the multiplayer. So, naturally, that's what I want to succeed, and that's what I want to see more of. I want to see a similar development.
You know what? How long have we been telling you to go play the series? You know what? We're done. Travis, go.
So here you go.
It will run on your potato.
Come back in a couple weeks and we'll talk. Right.
Okay?
So
see you next N7 day.
Yeah.
All I want for Christmas.
Multiplayer before I crash out again. I hope I love the model that they had actually in 3. I think the problem with Dragon Age is that they tried to copy it, but they didn't copy the right things.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that made Mass Effect 3 multiplayer amazing was the variety. You know?
I agree.
And I felt like Inquisitions was really stingy. It was kind of money grabby. You can kind of tell.
I'll get to that. Like all the
I personally didn't like the crafting portion of Inquisition.
Yeah,
it was too choppy.
That going back to that RNG I was talking about, the money, like, I don't know, it felt just really stingy, and it felt really samey. Like, I'm gonna get the same kind of devices in this,
I think what
weapons.
contributed to that,
you know, a sword is a sword. Wow, it just looks better.
That's what made it feel so unrewarding to do anything, because it's a Mass Effect.
It's not even that. It was the fact that the abilities were based off the weapons you had.
Yeah, well, no,
that too.
I feel
but you kind of tied to that too because of, you know, the universe. Like, it's not like Mass Effect where it's sci-fi. You can do so many other things. That's why when people were saying at first, like, oh yeah, let's copy it for Dragon Age, like, no. Because I tried it, I was excited, but I wasn't sure that it would work.
I feel like another fundamental problem is when they design like the gameplay for Dragon Age, like Inquisition, in the single player, which is the first one that's designed, that's the focus here. It's designed as you're going to switch between party members and control a 4-man team, all with different unique abilities, all playing different roles. And then they transition that exact same gameplay into controlling a single character who has less abilities and less freedom than his single player component. It's still so rich.
Right.
I got to point out that I agree with got to point out I agree with Katz there. That moment when you find out Archangel is Garrus.
I already suspected.
Oh yeah.
Like when I was going through that mission, I was like, Archangel is going to be Garrus, because I looked through and I'm like, which characters are recurring? And I saw which ones were coming back, and I'm like, and I saw the Garrus wasn't there. I was like, no way is Garrus going to be gone. And
no, I literally had no clue.
Archangel,
I had no clue either, because I wasn't really into Garrus until Mass Effect 3. I didn't watch any of the preview material for Mass Effect 2 at all.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I was playing, though, like I didn't suspect it until I started playing the mission. But as I played it, and they were like, man, this guy's just wrecking our shit, I was like, it's going to be Garrus, isn't it? I'm not even lying. Like, I was like, I have a feeling it's going to be Garrus.
I hope to.
Then when it was him, I'm like, oh my god, I was right.
But the thing is that like I had no idea it was Garrus until I saw it was a Turian. I was like, Turian.
Well, they said it was a Turian. They said it was a Turian going the whole way.
Yeah.
I expected it to be a new Turian.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
I didn't think Garrus was that important in the first game.
Yeah, but what I absolutely love, though, the way they developed his character through the entire trilogy. Like, he ended up being, hands down, the best male supporting character in a game ever made.
He was just your bro.
Yeah, like, well, if you were if you were male Shep, if you were bro Shep, he was your bro. Fist bumps, drinks, beers,
him, even when you're fem Shep, he's your fucking bro.
Yeah,
okay?
He's your bro unless you romance him, and then he's,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why the community loved him so much. Like, I loved Tally. So
Garrus was
Tally also developed very well too.
Yeah.
Garrus,
but I don't think she developed as well as Garrus did.
Garrus was great because he just had your back, like no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Tally did too until it came to helping the Quarians.
Yeah,
if she had to choose between Shepard and the Quarians always came first.
Spoiler alert: there's a way you can make her commit suicide in Mass Effect 3. Garrus would never do that.
I like that Tally
game's
gave
years
you a
old,
more
by the way. If
personal
you're spoiled by
connection.
that, go.
I like that Tally gave you a more personal connection to the
guys. Stop spoiling the game for me.
And play it. It's a 4-year-old game.
Yeah, this is your.
Don't worry.
Didn't I just tell you like 5 minutes ago to leave and go play it right now?
You can buy the entire trilogy for like $10.
Yeah, You didn't listen to me. I told you,
and it'll run on your potato.
You chose not to go. Okay, I warned you.
Hey, don't worry, because you're so lazy about this, you're gonna end up getting the ending where she commits suicide. So I'll briefly talk.
If he plays Mass Effect 3 first, if he only plays Mass Effect 3,
no. There's
let's be honest with how everything played out in Mass Effect 3. Like, if I had to choose between one or the other, and I couldn't reconcile the differences, no matter how much I love Tally, I could not stand by the Quarians. Like they acted so dumb at times,
especially at the end of Mass Effect 2.
They were standing down, and the Quarians are like fire. It's like
it was like racist zealots in a way.
They were.
Like, we're going to kill them because we don't understand them.
But you got to think of it, guys. That and this is one of the things I love about the game was they developed this culture that essentially had created robots. It bit them in the ass. And they got kicked off of their home planet and have been wandering as nomads for hundreds of years. You gotta imagine, they're bitter as fuck.
I feel like overall it was a symptom of, I think, Mass Effect 3 was rushed. I feel like the whole conflict and how it happened and when it happened was way too convenient. And it ended up feeling so kind of like there should have been more build-up, more work into this, and very central conflict to the themes of Mass Effect. It's like, By
feel
the end
like
of it, I just felt like it happened too quickly. and it
despite not
wrapped up.
playing it, I have seen quite a bit of it, and I think I sat through a little bit of my ex-girlfriend playing it as well. Um,
And then just conveniently add.
I feel like
You didn't play it, so we don't listen.
I feel like that was whatever. I feel like that was a reoccurring thing in Mass Effect 3, in that a lot of things felt kind of rushed.
It was Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of
Well-
people focused on the ending, but Mass Effect 3 in general.
I'm one of those
was
people that
rushed.
feels like
It-
But it was still an amazing
that feels
game.
like
It was, but it needed more time.
the one part that I played
Okay.
was like the very very beginning of Fallout, or not Fallout.
Oh god, we're
Mass
bringing up
Effect-
Fallout 3 again.
A Mass Effect 3 was like the beginning, and I feel like them pulling out the Reapers right at the beginning of that game, and that like the entire opening sequence of Mass Effect 3, like it felt extraordinarily rushed,
It
and
did.
it felt out of place.
Well,
And-
Felt out
but
of
laid
place
out.
'cause you didn't
no,
play
no,
the
no.
other two
The
games.
thing
Now
is,
let's-
yeah,
let's
that
put
was
this
not
this
rushed
whole
at
time.
all.
When you speak
Well, like
to
despite that, like just from like even if it like connects with the other games, from a game's point of view in general, I feel like there should have been a little bit more build
I'll
up.
bring up. Let's remember the Prothean VI. What's his name
Well,
from
remember, he
Ilos?
hasn't played it. He hasn't played it, so he didn't realize
I know,
in the
but
first game you
I'm
stopped
saying
it.
for you guys, even like, when you spoke to the Prothean VI on Ilos, remember how he said the extinction of the Protheans took 100 years, a century, for them to wipe them all out, and yet when the Reapers invade here, they're literally at every fucking planet within like months. It's just it felt
Well,
rushed.
but you got to realize that
Like, they
happened
moved way too
differently.
fast.
That, that had to happen for the
it-
storytelling.
Well, the
I
Like,
thing
know,
you're not
is,
but
going to
is
have
at the
the
they,
same
story
time,
take
it
over 5
still
years
ended
or
up-
something.
the first.
I feel like it feels like BioWare might have been kind of ambitious when they made the Reapers in the first game, and then it ended up almost biting them in the ass because when it came around the third game, they had to do what they had to do to wrap it up.
Does that not point toward a little bit towards the theory that the Reapers were not supposed to be the main enemy in Mass Effect 3, and it was supposed to be
the
Yeah.
an
dark
entirely
energy.
different story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, the leak from the leaked scripts where it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
basic
where
humanity
Mass
versus
Effect
the
3
universe.
suffered.
I think I wish they would have gone with that whole dark energy plot.
Yeah.
Because that dark energy plot, I've heard from it. I never read the leaked scripts. I should, but I just never have. But from what I heard from them, that story was amazing.
It was that the changing of the writer. There's just a lot of things that happened with Mass Effect 3 where it was like
Like the whole Casey Hudson locking himself in a room and
Yeah.
writing
it
the
was
ending.
definitely hurt by some of the stuff that happened. Like it's still a good game. Like it's still great.
Yeah.
But like there's a lot of things that went wrong
Well-
other than just the ending.
Well, like some of the things,
Right, and that's kind of what I said about it. Like it frustrates me that the game to me was amazing. I'm not saying it's the best. I still think 2 was the best in the series.
For storytelling,
But,
I enjoyed
Yeah,
the
I mean, you're kind of in. Yeah, I think the gameplay mechanics they finally got them right in 3 for the most part.
yeah.
But the only thing that most people talk about, even like I said, it'll be 4 years old in March, is the last 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, but like as
But
far
it was
as
an amazing ride up to there.
yeah, but it's kind of steering it back onto the beloved parts. Some of the things that were the first time I really experienced in Mass Effect that were something that was completely alien to me. Like first of all, the idea of carrying over your game saves and your decision in an impactful way. Like I can remember playing through Mass Effect 3, I shit you not, I went back twice, back to Mass Effect 1, created a new fucking game save plus, replayed the game through to make sure I had all the decisions right there, then had to carry it through to Mass Effect 2, play through that again with that converted game save, then go back to 3 so I could make sure I did everything right because I'm a completionist. But never before...
I did that on all of them with every class and both genders.
Yeah, like for real, like well, the thing is, I didn't need. There was only a couple of them that I really fucked things, like that. But like I said, that something was something that I was like, God damn, that's amazing. That's a great way to give this continuity, and that's where he said the Reapers felt rushed. It's like in the beginning, like, oh, bam, the Reapers are here. No, this has been building, for 2 games. This has not been something that just came out of the blue. No, Shepard, talked with freaking Sovereign in Mass Effect 1 and said, that they're coming. You can't stop it. And then, of course, he talked with Harbinger at the end. That I'll be the harbinger of your destruction.
All through Mass Effect 2, he was talking through Harbinger.
Yeah,
maybe
I feel
I'm
like
just kind of looking at it from like a book perspective, and in terms of like pacing of a book, you usually have things, major events like that.
I will say
come
the problem
up.
Is you have to look at it as a trilogy.
I know.
Yeah, it's like you read The Return of the King first. It's like you picked up and you open up the first chapter of Return of the King, and you're like, "Whoa, shit's happening way too fast." I got that
same feeling, and I did play them all. And I still got that feeling. My biggest thing about it, and I don't think it would have felt as rushed here, is I hate how Earth-centric Mass Effect 3 was.
Yeah,
I hated that everything was like, we gotta save Earth. Shepard goes to the Council, and the Council's reasonable. They're like, hey, Shepard, the Reapers are coming and wrecking all our shit, okay? It's like, we can't afford to just go, hey, home planet, fuck you guys, we're gonna go save Earth, because them humans are pretty cool. It's like, they're reasonable, and Shepard's like, he goes to talk to Edina, and Edina's like, those blind fools, and Shepard's just like, how can they drop everything to save?
Let's be honest, there's some spoilers there that we're not going to spoil for Travis.
Oh, well,
on that.
Travis isn't going to play
overall, though,
it
feels so like, Earth-centric, and it feels silly.
Well, I feel like a better way to go into it with the game would have been not having them, like, at the beginning of the game, show up directly on Earth right then. Have them show up, but not in the ridiculous, all of a sudden cataclysmic way on Earth that they did.
Well, the thing is that from the Arrival DLC,
they got the Batarians first.
Well, that was the thing. As via the Arrival DLC in Mass Effect 2, you essentially stopped them. Mass Effect 1, you stopped them from being able to use the dark space relay.
The back door.
Yeah, the back door into the center of the galaxy. Mass Effect 2 Arrival DLC, you essentially stopped them from getting a relay to the edge of the galaxy. So they just rolled in the old-fashioned way and started wrecking Batarian space. And
I like how Sovereign's just, Mass Effect 1 and Sovereign's like, them damn Protheans locked the door, but there's a back door.
Yeah.
The whole plot of Mass Effect is literally him going, the Protheans locked the door, but now there's a back door. It's like Shepard locked the back door.
Well, there was always that back door. They just had to, the Keepers were supposed to activate it, and they never did.
Yeah.
That was why Saren had to go and find the conduit in the first place.
It's funny when you turn the story that simplistic with terms.
Yeah, but the thing is that, I thoroughly enjoyed the way that they did that 3-game carry over the same character, your save files. Yeah. Like, if you look at, like, KOTOR, for example.
Mass Effect.
Oh, there's not every game that does it, but, like, in KOTOR...
I wish every game did it.
Didn't have really a carryover for the game save. Instead, you had conversational choices that would give you the story of Revan in KOTOR 1, where, like, they'll say, oh, yeah, Revan, he did this, and you can respond with, I heard Revan was a woman. And then that would forever set the game that the canon Revan in your story was a woman.
Mass Effect did it well, but I will also bring up how I didn't like it in, like, Dragon Age. And I'll bring up that I feel like it...
Yeah, Dragon Age did it all fucking wrong.
It limited the storytelling, because you suddenly, like, you want to have, a tight story, but you have to take into account a bunch of different, events that could happen, and I feel like the more games you have that keep doing it, they managed to keep it contained for Mass Effect, and I give them...
Because it was a trilogy.
But, like, Dragon Age, though, was still a trilogy, and yet it ended up having points where they had to actually retcon decisions. Liliana, you kill her in Origins, and then she shows up no matter what in Inquisition. Ask her, and she's like, the Maker revived me. It's like, what?
that was their fault. Because they could have put another character. They could have put another character in.
I know. I'm just saying, like, as much as I
they could have put Wynn there, and it would have made sense.
No, not in her position, but yeah.
I liked how.
Well, no. I'm saying like as an advisor as Wynn.
Yeah.
As much as I liked how Mass Effect did it, I'm just saying, like, I feel like they need to be careful. I don't want them to sacrifice the quality of the story writing just to shoehorn in decisions and choices.
Yeah, the thing is
Right,
that
but I
how
think the thing
Mass
with
Effect did
Dragon
it well.
Age and why I liked it, particularly from Dragon Age Origins to Dragon Age 2, is because it was just more a state of the world, as opposed to, your direct decisions affect things like Mass Effect.
yeah,
So
well,
I
the
think
thing
they did it
is
very differently.
Mass Effect actually, had a decent way of doing it. Like, if you killed Rex in the first game, great, he's dead. Goodbye. Sorry, spoiler alert, Travis. Your own fucking fault.
It's an 8-year-old game, Travis.
Don't kill Rex.
Look,
Sorry.
I know that like everybody and all of your teams can die, and like you gotta sacrifice.
No,
some
that's
people.
Mass Effect 2.
Oh. That's Mass
Shepard
Effect
can even
2,
die
only
in Mass Effect 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
You
the
can
secret ending.
literally the suicide mission
I
can
heard-
be just that.
I heard that they originally, based off the suit, like there was a thing going around where the fans were like, if your Shepard died in the suicide mission, you'd get a hidden like Mass Effect 3 playthrough where you played as Joker.
Yes,
I was
yes.
like, oh.
It would be the slowest fucking game in the world
I
because he
know,
would
right?
gimp
How many
everywhere.
bones would he break?
No,
Yeah.
no, it would be like a ship combat game. It would
Yes.
just be a completely different thing.
Well, because the whole thing with Joker is he's got a bone disorder where he's got like glass bones essentially. He breaks bones if he sneezes.
See, Joker wouldn't sit and waste time. Like Shepard, as much as I like Shepard does not know what delegation means. Like,
Yes,
he
Yeah,
goes into the
right.
battlefield
For
and
being
it's
a
like,
commander, he's
Shepard,
really
this
poor at
shit's going-
delegation.
like, Commander, this shit's going down. Should we send a squad over? No, I'll go take care of it myself.
Shepard,
Well, I
please
think
help.
she
I need
nobody
help
would listen to her.
opening
That's
this
part of the
jar of
problem,
pickles.
too.
Can you help me, please? Shepard, do my laundry. It's such a.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is nobody trusts Shepard. No matter how many times she saved the galaxy. Yes, I'm using she because Jen Hell rocks. Nobody would just listen to her, and I think that was probably the bigger problem
See,
than anything else.
That was the other thing. Like I remember I was watching what was it, Yahtzee's the zero punctuation review, and it was just like, oh, here's the Reapers after Shepard warned us like so many times. It's like we're not going to listen to Shepard. We're going to imprison him and then have like a barbecue out here while the
Well,
Reapers, like,
they imprisoned him
And
because
then-
he
and then
fucking
when she shows
dropped
up,
an
it's-
asteroid on a
But here's
planet.
the worst thing: if you didn't play Arrival, you were
You're
given
missing
a
out.
very vague reason.
Yeah, which
Shepard
that
is-
Yeah,
Arrival
I
should have
think
been
just like-
a free DLC, honestly.
Yeah,
Lair the Shadow Broker too, even though it's probably the best DLC I've ever played in my life. Lair
Lair the Shadow Broker, I
is
did not
good.
mind paying for. Lair the Shadow Broker.
Yeah,
Oh, I
that
didn't
was
mind
good,
for
yeah.
any of the Mass Effect 2 DLC.
Well,
I
because
thought it was
essentially, if you didn't play that, then you're like, wait, Liar is the Shadow Broker? Sorry,
See, I
again,
don't-
spoiler, Travis. Sorry.
It is
I'm
still a
enjoying
thing, but I don't think
this.
it's as
Yeah.
bad as the Arrival.
I'm enjoying the spoilers for him. It's like, ah.
I watched the whole like indoctrination theory thing. So like I've already
fuck
got
the indoctrination theory. I'm sorry.
Indoctrination
that's
theory is bullshit.
Hey, you know
I-
what? It was cool. It was cool that people came up with that idea. Like,
yeah.
say what you want about it,
no,
but I like
here-
that people were creative
This
enough.
is my fundamental problem on the whole way they changed the story, at least whatever it was originally, the way the story was originally eventually became to end was the conundrum, the AI conundrum, where a sentient species creates AI, the AI is better than they are. And naturally, as a state of wanting to survive, that sentient species tries to destroy the AI, is unable to because they're inferior, and then the AI ends up destroying them for the sake of the galaxy or whatever. We've heard that story told constantly, like Matrix.
Yeah, that
classic-
is the other thing.
you
And
know-
it's led to when Mass Effect 3 first came out, I remember looking at the endings and I was like, oh man, these endings feel so much like just a repeat of almost like Deus Ex endings.
Yeah,
Because it dealt
I
with
didn't
that
play
same
Deus Ex.
theme.
but
It dealt with the same themes of like,
but the thing
AI
is,
and-
that the way the game ended, like once it extended cut ending, by the way, was that essentially of the like the indoctrination theory. Oh, it switched the colors at the end because the red, the way it showed you the red ending destroys the good ending. No, that's the selfish ending. It's the renegade ending.
It
I'm
is.
sorry. Yeah, it's the way you destroy the Reapers, and then you continue on the cycle that created the Reapers to begin with. Congratulations,
mention all the other people
short-sighted
you
and
killed.
selfish. The
Yeah.
blue ending was the second best ending. That was the one where you take control of the Reapers and Shepard as an AI, then ensures peace, which, yes, that does have kind of a god complex type thing to it, which has its own problems. But he's an AI, with Shepard's good fortune. He's a paragon. He's a good guy. He looks out for others. And then the green ending, which people are like, oh, that takes away people's choice. Yes, and it permanently, forever, solves the AI conundrum.
Right, it was designed to be the best ending.
Yeah, in that story scenario, and the way they created that was the best ending because that would permanently solve the AI conundrum.
I'm still questioning how that works. Like, as much as we want to say it's like the best, it's like they're just like, oh, it gathers up a huge amount of energy and then magically merges all organic life with
that was space magic.
But you played all 3 games, and this is the first time you're questioning space magic,
right? Because come on, Mass Effect theory in general is space magic.
Codex. At least they attempt to explain biotics.
Biotic powers,
I still don't understand
space
what
magic.
biotics are. It's just space magic.
No, there's a suspension of disbelief there. There's enough pseudo science there that I'm like, okay, I can reasonably believe in it, but man,
space magic.
The synergy ending was just like fucking out of left field, like space.
I just want you to think about this for a second. I played all 3 Mass Effect games as both genders, all classes, Paragon and Renegade, several times over, all of them. And I still don't understand why biotics work.
They're essentially, you've been exposed to element 0 while you were in the womb, and somehow it altered your DNA and made you compatible with implants that allow you to use space magic. Space magic.
That's what I got from it. Okay, what is element 0? I know it's just an element, like some sort of physical element, like a science element, whatever. And what do people do before these implants? Again, they just die?
I feel
die in a biotic explosion?
I feel like there's at least an attempt. There's an attempt to have pseudoscience. They, of course, want you to suspend your disbelief. It's not hardcore science. They're not trying to actually prove that this stuff's viable. But there's at least an attempt to kind of suspend your disbelief. Fucking Synergy, they didn't even try. The catalyst was literally just like, there's so much energy that it just makes everything combine. That's the explanation. It's like fucking huge amounts of energy.
They didn't even go that far. They didn't even go that far.
It just out of a scene from Destiny. I don't have time to tell you why I don't have time to explain.
Yeah, it just felt so like out there.
You did it too, but at the same time, I feel like there's the holes there. I still love the game.
And despite the space magic, I still stand, like, that's the reason why whenever I first heard indoctrination theory, I was like, you guys are idiots, because it's like regardless of synthesis space magic, the whole renegade ending of the game, the destruction ending, it was short-sighted. It was selfish, because you essentially said, I'm going to save Earth. Fuck the Geth, fuck the Reapers, I'm going to save Earth.
Yeah.
And
fuck the Quarians.
Well, the Quarians would have been fine, but fuck the Geth, because the Geth get destroyed in the destruction.
Well, the Geth, but the thing is, they would have destroyed your technology. Those suits would have.
No. It's just it's only AI. It only destroys AI.
In the destroy ending, though, doesn't it rack up the relays? And the Quarians have no natural resources. They live on their ships and depend upon trading and scavenging.
Yeah,
and their ships can't travel anywhere.
It also depended on your war assets. Because if you got a low enough war asset, it was all technology.
Yeah, and
that's where we go back to those Quarians in them suits.
But yeah, that was my thing. Is I don't know. I was a big fan of that. But just to touch on the Inquisition bits, the things I don't want them to continue the trends of. Going Mass Effect, especially Mass Effect 2, had excellent, felt very well fleshed out missions. Dragon Age Inquisition had horrible fucking single player mission system that felt like you were just checking off boxes.
Oh yeah, that
it felt very Assassin's Creed like.
They had a very washed up, wishy-washy antagonist, Come on, give me a complex antagonist.
Protagonist too.
Because they were literally mustache.
The Inquisitor wasn't that great either.
Yeah, but my whole thing is like
position.
with the show Supernatural, as I tell Caleb there, I love the way that Satan or Lucifer was depicted in the show Supernatural, because the actor who did that show was brilliant, because he could depict very well the feeling of, you could tell he thought he was the hero. Saren kind of seemed like that in the beginning. He thought he was doing good. You know, he was a complex villain. You know, Corypheus, I'm a bad guy because I'm a bad guy.
Even worse, like
I'm a bad guy.
I'm bad guy, the bad guy.
Because
Intermage.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that they didn't get right with Inquisition, and my biggest problem is like when we talk about level structure,
villains are so bad.
is that they forced it to be open world.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing
that was horrible for the game.
The multiplayer. Stop with the abilities based off of weapons. Don't do that again. Don't ever do that again.
Make it like Diablo. If you're gonna do Dragon Age multiplayer, take what Diablo does well.
Yeah,
But
the second thing
Mass
is,
Effect. It doesn't work with Mass Effect.
I almost guarantee you they're gonna have their RNG shit in multiplayer, which I'm okay with, but give me the depreciating drop table system like Mass Effect 3 had, except for that fucking level 4 ammo. You should not have to play the multiplayer for 1,000 hours and not have a max manifest.
You're still
Exactly.
about that, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
I want them to bring back the level grades of weapons as well. Like having the Mark
that's what I mean.
10.
That the depreciating drop table.
Okay.
Essentially, as you maxed out a weapon, it was removed from the drop table. Fuck that duplicate bullshit that Inquisition had. No, don't do that. Depreciating loot system, so that way, as I max out a gun, it's gone. It's off the table.
See,
Bam.
I like that also because I hated the whole idea of. I hated the idea also of like in Dragon Age Inquisition when you got a weapon or something, even if it was like a super rare legendary item, it could be a fucking low level item and it would be garbage. Like level 5 legendary bow. It's like, what is that? What the fuck is with these levels? Don't even have that shit. Just have the weapon.
The same thing that Mass Effect 3 had with the things, except for the ammo. Take the ammo out of that fucking drop table.
Yeah. Just take. You know what? I hated the reliance on consumables in general.
Yeah, but
what Inquisition or
Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and
consumables make a huge difference in Mass Effect 3.
Yes, but let's go ahead and actually start wrapping up and get our final thoughts, because we are running on the 90-minute mark here. So we'll start with Caleb. Your final thoughts. Anything more to add?
Can't wait for 24 hours. That's all that's on my mind.
Fall season!
Yeah!
And you,
winter.
Yep. And you, Travis? Final thoughts? Anything more to add?
I'm still...
Other than you're going to play Mass Effect?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Think very carefully on your answer.
If you don't start playing through it, you're going to be barred from coming on the podcast with Invader next time.
That's not true.
The only thing I care about, people only care about Invader because of the multiplayer. You know, whatever. Like, at least I only care about him because of the multiplayer. He was so fun to play with.
You care about him because he's a fellow Floridian who understands your pain of living in Florida.
Absolutely.
90 proof vodka. Oh, what?
Oh my.
Yeah, so now you know how I spend my days. Don't move to Florida. That's my final word.
Alligators and boots, that's all you got.
Don't move to Florida.
And big bugs.
And gators.
Booze.
Yeah.
Hurricanes.
And enormous mosquitoes.
And Joe, is this your final thoughts that you're giving us?
My final thoughts are that lewd Saren skirt flip I saw in the gameplay.
Right? That was so horrible. So horrible. I was like, and it wouldn't go back down. It wouldn't go down. It was just like there was magical air blowing up from the sand, flashing everybody.
Dean was just like, hey, you paid good money. Here's that Saren.
Right.
Well, that's going to be on Pornhub.
Yep.
Whoops.
Saren on Pornhub. You heard it here first.
Whoa.
And you, Kev, give us your final thoughts.
There's a rule for that. There's a rule.
Rule 34? Don't look it up. Don't look it up. You do not want to look that up. Anyone who doesn't know what that is, don't look it up. You don't want to see it.
So my final thoughts. It's Fallout season. That's always awesome. Everybody knows me, Kev the Gamer. Look me up on YouTube. Apparently there's 3 of us. I'm the one that has over 20 subs because, like I said, there's like 3 or 4 of us now on there. I discovered this today.
He's the one that's not good at video games.
Yeah, that one. The one that has 700 videos and is not good at video games.
Yep, exactly. He plays them and uninstalls them before he ever gets good.
I know, right? And 2 things I didn't get to talk about Mass Effect 3 that I'm going to bring up now. I don't want them to bring back, we were talking about leveling up the guns. I'm tired of leveling up characters. Like, that was ridiculous. You'd have to get the same character card like 4 times before they leave the drop. Get rid of that. I don't like that.
Oh, for appearances. Yeah.
Yes. Like, I didn't
that
want
was
to
annoying.
That was a waste of space.
It was annoying.
And the rejection ending was amazing. Say what you want to.
Oh, yeah. Shooting the catalyst.
Yes. It felt,
I like the option.
It was actually my favorite ending.
He's just like, fuck you, I choose nothing.
Exactly.
And,
See, I would have loved
everyone
the
dies.
Be like,
I like both selfish endings. I agree Destroyer was selfish as hell, but I liked it.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it was a bad ending. I'm just saying the indoctrination theory fell on its head the moment you consider, it was selfish as fuck.
Yeah.
It was Renegade.
Theory was crap in the first place.
You know,
like, Shepard spends like 70, 80 hours fighting the Reapers.
You know, I feel like
he's indoctrinated now.
I feel like in my we're running on time here, but I feel like Mass Effect could take something from Shadowrun in that they have a very similar kind of
use more Shadowrun.
Yeah, they have a very similar thing in that there's this ridiculously powerful ancient enemy coming, inevitably coming to destroy humanity and the universe. But
see, I love Shadowrun.
But there's these hints that like humanity's like increased technology might be giving them, an edge over past
Yeah,
generation. I feel like Mass Effect could have possibly used something of that angle.
See, that's what I liked about Shadowrun. Did a lot of what Mass Effect did, but instead of like attempting to explain magic with high technology, Shadowrun was like, "Fuck it, we'll have both." It's like, fuck it, we will have gods.
Yeah,
we'll have extra dimensional beings with magic, but we'll also do sci-fi cyberpunk because why not?
So kind of like the gate.
We don't need biotics. We have actual mages.
Yeah, but in any case,
and my last thought, I hope that they don't make Andromeda open world.
Yeah, no, we don't.
You know what? I like the aspect of exploration, though.
Yeah, they'll do exploration, but I hope they don't make it the
do it more like
checkbox
the original
bullshit
Inquisition. Do it more like
what if they did an open world like Witcher 3, though? Like Witcher 3 did open world extremely well. Like
that might be okay, but I don't know.
I don't want them to do the mission style of Inquisition.
I love the mission style that they had in the original trilogy. I thought it felt right. It felt good. I don't really want them to stray too far from that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like what they said with Inquisition. When I think of the mission structure for Inquisition, I think Assassin's Creed.
Okay,
it feels just like Assassin's Creed.
Yep. All right, but let's go ahead and get wrapped up on that. Definitely a verbose topic there. I'm running out of gameplay footage to run here.
Good.
We'll get more lewd Saren images.
Yep, exactly. In any case, if you're watching on Kev's channel, you guys know me. I'm Angelus de Mortiel. That's Mortiel. I just have a new Inquisition video coming out next week for all of you guys to watch of the amazing multiplayer experience that I dedicated myself to some months ago, and
we just shit talk all over.
Just
stick a shit all over
and then of course we'll be doing Mass Effect videos once Andromeda comes out, so that'll be awesome on there. And just as a special note, guys, barring any cancellations like this week, next week we should have some special guests on as well, so definitely tune in to check that out. And on that one, we'll go ahead and sign it off, and we will catch you all next week on the Pixel Crashers podcast.
Hooray!
Nothing!